Hello everyone, welcome live to 3YTV tonight's broadcast of the Illicit Designs Dirt Circuit here, the modifieds, the 358 modifieds coming to you from Cedar Lake Speedway up in Wisconsin. This racetrack is going to be very, very racy here tonight, as it always is. We saw a spectacular race last week come down to the wire. It was the number 11 machine of Jordan LaFawn out there on the racetrack right now, who was able to take home the race win last week in, like I said, very exciting fashion, taking that race win in the final corner on the final lap of the race. Also won his heat last week in the number 11 machine. Didn't have a whole lot of laps led in the main last week, but was able to get the job done, and we're expecting good things out of the number 11 machine here tonight. Currently 6th position here in the practice session, only about a minute and a half away from the first heat of the night. Let's see if we can jump on board with the number 11 machine of LaFawn as you see him working the steering wheel through turn number 1 and 2 right here. Got to watch out for those tires down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. We'll see them in full effect here tonight, that is for sure. And working his way now, I believe this is through turn number 3 and 4. Kind of easy to get lost around this joint. But I'll tell you what, it is going to be a lot of fun here tonight as you get to see just a little bit of the racetrack. We did hear from Chris Westerhausen that this racetrack is getting a little bit ruddy, getting pretty bumpy out there, and you got to see that on board there with the number 11 of LaFawn. He's one of the only drivers out there on the racetrack right now. Cameron Dawson is the only other car taking some time, as you can see. He's running right up there against the wall. The racetrack has lost quite a bit of pace. No one getting close to the lap that Brent Carey turned down a little while ago. 13.49 sits atop the leaderboard. Austin Kroger second fastest at 13.89, so 4/10 of a second. But this racetrack has very much transitioned from a bottom feeder to these drivers running the cushion. You can see that number 187 right there, Cameron Dawson, trying to use as much of that cushion as he can to get his 358 modified to turn. But hey, folks, checkered flag has come out here in practice. We got heat races lined up for you. There's a 0-1 machine right in front of him, and looks like Dawson will bring it down to a halt here just for a little bit. Let's see if we can set the lineup here for you for heat number 1. Right here, starting on the pole for heat number 1, that is going to be Corey Kessler. Cameron Dawson alongside him in the 187, who we were just watching. Matthew Moniak, the bright green number 15 machine, will be starting on the inside of row number 2. Dustin Fryer to his outside. Tim Ripley and James Batzer there on row number 3. We saw some great pace out of the number 71 machine last week. There he is right there in the center of your screen. Justin Jones and Jordan LaFawn on row number 4. So last week's race winner going to have a little bit of work to do here in heat number 1. And rounding out your field here is Brent Carey and Caleb Ogwin. There's that 524 machine right there on your screen. Keep an eye out for him here tonight. Definitely going to be an interesting one. Let's see if we can bring up some of those driver names right there so you can figure out who you're going to be rooting for here on 3YT. Of course, the second week the Illicit Designs Dirt Circuit has been here on the channel. We got 2 more weeks of action here in the 358 Modified Championship as Cameron Dawson in that 187 looks like he is ready to go. Corey Kessler, number 14, we saw some good pace out of him last week at Knoxville as well. Back behind him, the bright green number 15, Matthew Moniak right there. Dustin Fryer, the number 78, great looking hot rod right there. And then Tim Ripley and James Batzer. Batzer, kind of a quiet looking machine, but we're getting ready here for the green flag to fall on the number 14 machine. Up at the front, Corey Kessler takes the green flag, and we are underway here in heat number 1, the 187. Cameron Dawson trying to work that high line, does so to perfection, takes the race lead on lap number 1. And like I said, what we saw in the practice session was that this racetrack kind of went from being a bottom feeder racetrack to a high line fest. And we're seeing that here with Dawson trying to use that high line. But Kessler, they're really fighting back right now on that inside groove, trying to get it hooked up on the bottom side, just trying to find that last little bit of grip. You can see that low line really slicked out in the practice session. That was really where the fastest lines and the fastest cars were. The fastest times were set down there. We did have James Batzer and Justin Jones go around. This, of course, is a very quick heat race. We'll see if we can figure out what happened to these drivers. This is a 3-wide TV replay here. Number 73 going into the corner. We believe the 7 of James Batzer might have been involved. Ooh, 3-wide. Look at that. Beating and banging there. And number 7 comes in, sure enough. And oh, man, that is a heavy hit for James Batzer. Meanwhile, Dustin Fryer, we're hearing something's happened to the number 78 machine. So back here on the 3-wide TV replay. Let's see what happened to Fryer in the number 78 machine. Then we will go back to the battle for the race lead. It is still Cameron Dawson right now. And oh, my goodness, just getting in a little bit too hot and flipping outside the racetrack. That is a home run here, folks. You don't want a home run here or at this racetrack. But meanwhile, back up at the front of the field, it is that 187 machine who is getting things done here. Up at the front of the field, the 187 is right there. Corey Kessler right there. Tim Ripley. Not sure why the live timing and scoring graphic up at the top of the screen is not working. It did this last week, and let's see if we can maybe try and fiddle around with it, see if we can get it to work. It does not like this heat racing for some reason. We'll see if we can sort that out. Cameron Dawson, though, in the 187 is your race leader. We'll just have to kind of keep things manual here. Tim Ripley is in second. Jordan LaFawn, last week's race winner and heat winner, has worked his way up as we have just 3 laps to go. Hearing that Matthew Moniak towards the back of the pack has had an issue in the number 15 machine. He slid back from his third place starting position here in this heat. So he's dropped some positions, but Jordan LaFawn trying to work on the back of Tim Ripley. Ripley's also picked up a lot of spots. White flag is out for heat number 1, and it is the 187 machine of Cameron Dawson working his way through turn number 3 and 4. Gonna take home the checkered flag of heat number 1. Tim Ripley coming home second. Jordan LaFawn in third. There's the 14 of Corey Kessler, who started on the pole. Caleb O'Gwyn, who started pretty much shotgun in that heat. He's going to work his way up into 5th. And Matthew Moniak finishing in 6th. Brent Carey right behind him. So a really good heat race there. But just like that, folks, so we are going to get things queued up for heat number 2. Now it seems like the live timing and scoring is working up at the top of the screen. Let's see if we can bring up, though, your starting lineup for heat number 2. On the inside of row number 1 will be the number 1 machine of Josh Anders. Keep our eyes on him here. Now, he does have a slightly different look to that machine right there. I think that is the number 18 machine on his race car. Then the fastest, well, one of the fastest drivers in the practice session just a little while ago, Austin Kroger in the number 17. Watch out for him. Very, very fast a little while ago. Bill Sleep on the inside of row number 2 with Chris Eberly to his outside, the number 3 machine right there. Back behind them on row number 3, that is Jeremy Parker and Chris Eberly. I guess Daniel Northcutt is not starting, so that's going to move everyone up on the outside line. That's why the screen that you see right there is a little bit off. Then back behind them on the inside, Jeremy Parker. Looks like Anthony Karff in the 01 machine will be starting right there. Back behind them, Nicholas Lamb and John Quill. And rounding out your field here will be Eric Bisline in the number 92. So, heat number 2 here about to kick off. Green flag about to be in the air. Looks like we got live timing and scoring sorted out for this one. And it is Anders right there in the blue machine. Great start using that inside line. We did not see that in heat number 1, but here in heat number 2, he was able to dive it off into turn number 1, use the slide job to get up to the top side of the racetrack, but he is heavily under fire from the number 17 right there of Austin Kroger. Kroger running right down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. There's contact back behind him. I think that was Bill Sleep who might have just tagged him, and Austin Kroger's gone around, and we still got cars going around back there. That is the number 40 machine of Jeremy Parker who appeared to go around. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a replay on this one for you folks. Keep our eyes on the number 17 machine because that's where it kicked off. Him and the car right behind him, Bill Sleep. Let's go on board here with the Bill Sleep, and there's the contact, and he goes around, and it's kind of all on from there. Back behind him. Looks like Kroger getting turned back around, the 40 getting involved. But here in these heat races, folks, we stay caution-free. That's right, no cautions here in these heat races. And it is still currently Josh Anders, as Austin Kroger has an insurmountable challenge here to try and get back up to the front. But we do have a battle for the race lead. Here comes Chris Eberly. Chris has gained 4 positions here in the first half of heat number 2. That number 3 machine digging there on the top side, trying to find a little bit of grip down on the inside of the racetrack. I think that at least that's where he's going to have to go if he's going to get around Josh Anders, as Anders has very much taken that high line into full effect. There we go, looking out back here of the number 1 machine, Josh Anders. We're right on board with him. You see him slinging all that dirt out back right at the front nose of the number 3 of Eberly. But right now, those drivers are running pretty comparable lap times up here at the front of the field. Although last time by, it was Eberly just a little bit faster than Anders. Anders trying to find a little bit of grip down there on the low side of the track, looking up and down the scoring pylon. This is the best battle for position here in heat number 2 here in the Illicit Designs Dirt Circuit 358 Modified. We really appreciate everyone joining here on 3Y TV. Let's see if we got anyone in the chat. If you're in the chat, we want to hear from you. We want to find out what you're thinking here, as we got some action out there on the racetrack. Couple of cars coming together, and right in front of your race leaders. Your leaders are involved, coming to the white flag, and that's going to give the race lead to Bill Sleep. Sorry I missed that, folks. We're trying to figure out where all the carnage was going down. Anthony Karff still trying to figure it out, but looks like Bill Sleep going to come out of turn number 4 and walk away with the win with some late race carnage right there. Let's see if we can get a quick 3-wide TV replay in here before iRacing shuts us down. It might not. Let's go on board here with Bill Sleep, as there's already carnage around. Anthony Karff turned around. We got one car that was upside down there briefly, and Sleep was able to just slip on through and win his heat. Really, really impressive right there. Let's see if we can set the field here for you for the feature race here tonight. Chris Eberly in the number 3 machine will be starting on the inside pole, with Jordan LaFawn, the number 11, to his outside. Josh Anders, Tim Ripley on row number 2 right there. Of course, with last week's race winner, Jordan LaFawn, starting up there inside the top 5. He's going to be a tough one to beat, but we saw that pace out of Eberly as well. Anders and Ripley. It's going to be a very fast front 4 here tonight. Bill Sleep and Cameron Dawson will be rounding out your top 6. So it looks like a little bit of a top 6 inversion here going tonight. Corey Kessler, Eric Bisline on row number 4. Caleb O'Gwin, Nicholas Lamb, row number 5. Matthew Moniak and Jeremy Parker will be rounding out row number 6. Brent Carey, Austin Kroger, row number 7. Justin Jones, John Quill, 15th and 16th. James Batzer, Anthony Karff, 17th and 18th. And Dustin Fryer and Daniel Northcutt on row number 10, rounding out your 20 cars here tonight on 3-wide TV. Set to do battle around this fantastic Cedar Lake Speedway located in Wisconsin in the United States. Definitely going to be a fun one. Every driver here in tonight's field coming from the United States of America. We'll just wait to see the pace truck head down pit road here for this one. If you're in the chat here tonight, we really appreciate you joining us here on 3-Wide TV. We'd also really appreciate a like and a subscribe button, as the green flag here gonna fall. The pace truck not even out of the racetrack just yet, but it is the number 3 of Chris Eberly up at the front of the field, Josh Anders. But look at this, racing a little bit further back, the number 61. Oh, that's Bill Sleep going around, and we got one car. That is Eric Bisline having an issue, and that will bring out the caution flag, folks. We don't have any caution flags in the heat races, but we definitely have caution flags in the main. We go back to the start of the race. Keep your eye on Bill Sleep. Just got the win in heat number 2 a little while ago. doing battle there with the 187. Bisline just, I think, caught the rear end of the number 61, and unfortunately for Bill Sleep, he got quite a bit of damage. Not as much as Eric Bisline there. However, the number 92 upside down on his roof. He will definitely lose a couple of laps in that one, but caution flag number 1 here tonight at Cedar Lake Speedway, and it looks like the number 61 right now sitting on pit road. Anthony Karff in the 01. He is also a couple laps down. Not sure exactly what happened to him. And it does look like caution laps do count here tonight. They did not count last week at Knoxville. So some of those drivers are definitely going to lose quite a bit more time than they were expecting to. Chris Eberly is your race leader. Last week's race winner, Jordan LaFawn to his outside. Keep our eyes on the number 11 machine, but you can see those 358s lurch up into the air, and we're back green flag racing. Look at this, almost 3 wide back behind them. Cameron Dawson, the 187, getting a little bit crossed up down there on the inside line. Here comes the number 25, a Caleb O'Gwyn underneath them. But up at the front of the field, Josh Anders down there on the bottom side. He has Tim Ripley to his outside. Ripley in that number 71 machine trying to whip around the outside. Looks like he will grab the 3rd position right now. Chris Eberly still leading. Jordan LaFawn back behind him. And then comes Ripley. Trying to see some battles a little bit further back. Let's keep our eyes on the 187, Cameron Dawson. Look at this battle. Matthew Moniak, the number 15 machine. He's locked in a battle with Jeremy Parker. We saw Parker in that black, purple, and blue machine have some problems in his heat earlier on. Nicholas Lamb back behind him. Oh, contact between Nicholas Lamb and contact again. The 17 down there, Austin Kroger, he's going to be one of those drivers to watch out for, I think, in this main. As I saw someone back there having problems, that's James Batzer having issues. I think he caught the wall just a little bit. Going back to Austin Kroger right there, trying to pick up spots down there on the inside of the racetrack. His caution flag is out here. Once again, let's see what this caution flag is out. Oh my goodness, folks, this could be bad. We're hearing it happened right up at the front of the field. Watch Chris Eberly, the number 3 machine. What happened to his 358? Jordan LaFawn and Tim Ripley were battling back behind, but well, that doesn't appear to be the reason for the caution. I didn't see anything that would have brought out the yellow flag, so let's see if we can maybe figure out what it was. Ooh, well, that might have been the reason for the caution. Number 7 of James Batzer got into the wall. We'll see if it happens. Oh, it happens again and gets up on his side, goes upside down right in front of one of the other drivers out there. Couldn't quite make out who that was, but my goodness, I think it was Anthony Karff that we got a quick look at there. So that was definitely the reason for the caution. James Batzer having an issue here, but let's go back live here. There is the 01 machine of Anthony Karff that we saw just get a little lick of that. And all just like that, we are back green flag here. So very quick caution flag, and ooh. Well, as I say that, looks like caution flag is back in the air. So that was a very brief green flag here on 3Y TV. Let's watch the 01 machine. We're hearing it might have been Anthony Karff here might have been involved. Oh, it was a 14 machine who went around. That's Corey Kessler. And that's a real shame for the number 14. We've seen some good pace out of him. Let's see if we can go back and get another look and see exactly what happened to Corey Kessler here under this very brief green flag run. Got the number 15 machine right back behind him, and the 15 gets into him. 15, of course, driven by Matthew Moniak. Hopefully that number... Oh! Well, I was going to say, hopefully that number 14 isn't too badly damaged, but unfortunately, he got walloped pretty hard there, folks, and he is going to have to probably get some of that damage repaired. Like we mentioned earlier, they do have fast repairs here in this particular series, but that was Daniel Northcutt coming in a little bit too quick. But let's see if we can figure out exactly where we are. Still under the yellow flag right now, and Chris Eberly is believed to be your race leader right now. Let's see if we can go on board as they try and get things sorted out here under caution. But looks like we are just like that. We are going back green here. Looks like a single file restart. Kind of caught me off guard there. But green flag is back out. He has a huge gap over Tim Ripley. Not exactly sure how that happened. But Tim Ripley there in the number 71 machine is 4 seconds back. Cameron Dawson and the number 11 of Jordan LaFond battling for position right now. We'll see if there's any implications of what all happened out there on the racetrack. But right now, Chris Eberly has a huge lead at Cedar Lake Speedway. There's the number 1. And folks, you're seeing some puffs of what appears to be smoke. Well, we mentioned that this racetrack was getting really bumpy. Well, it's continued to get bumpy. And speaking of bumpy, Josh Anders there and Jordan LaFond doing a little bit of bumpy through turn number 3 and 4 that last time. And they continue to go side by side. There's the number 40 of Jeremy Parker. He says, you know what, guys, I want to get in on this battle. We go on board right now with the number 40 machine, looking out front at the back of Josh Anders in the Sub-Zero number 1 machine. Looks like they just, no contact in front of them, and the 40 machine goes around, and they're 15 just coming in. And there is contact again, and that is going to bring out the caution. Man, someone whipping around right there. Let's go back, and we will get another look at that one here on the 3-wide TV replay. But unfortunately for Matthew Moniak, Jeremy Parker, both of those drivers getting quite a bit of damage here. Let's roll the tape here for you folks here on the 3-wide TV replay. Going off through the corner, there was contact there between the 18 and the 11, and unfortunately for Parker, he kind of got the bad end of that stick, and nowhere for Matthew Moniak to go. And ooh, man, someone whipping it around the outside there. That was John Quill in his number 20 machine. But that will definitely tighten up the field here again. And we will sort things out for all of your folks right here. There's the 524 machine. Brent Carey had a pretty good start to this race. Started all the way back in the 13th position. Now running inside the top 10. You see the number 7 machine right there. That is James Batzer. He is trying to get one of his laps back. So he will indeed get, I believe, back onto the lead lap. So that's good news for the number 7 machine. We'll keep our eyes on James here over the next few laps. See if he can work his way back up through the field. Live timing and scoring really does not like the fact that we have these caution flag laps that do not count. They kind of freak out. But meanwhile, up at the front of the field, green flag is back in the air, and it is the number 3 machine, Chris Eberly, who will once again lead us back to green. So far, leading every single lap. And look at Brent Carey. We just mentioned him. He was the meat in a sandwich right there. Just 2 or 3 cars all fighting for the same real estate on the racetrack down there on the inside groove. Now we'll see what that 524 can do. But we are hearing there is another caution flag out there on the racetrack, hearing that it is the number 14 of John Quill, excuse me, not number 14, number 24 there of Quinn. Looks like the number 24J. Let's see what happened here. Going off into the corner. Ooh, contact with Matthew Moniak, and unfortunately that 24J goes around, and that's a tough break for Moniak. You have to think that he might be getting close to the incident limit. We saw a couple of drivers last week fall foul of the incident limit. The incident limit here in the Illicit Designs Dirt circuit is only 12 incident points, which on dirt equates to 6 accidents. And so we saw a couple of drivers, like I mentioned, fall foul of that, and I think the number 15 machine of Matthew Moniak, he's got to be getting close here, folks, after having yet another issue here out there on the racetrack. But let's see if we can see the number 3 machine as they start to double up. Now, another thing we also saw last week at Knoxville, folks, we saw single file restarts. After a while, the in race administrators kind of put single file restarts, but we got a double file restart for this one here. Everly once again, but here comes the number 71 of Tim Ripley digging on the inside line, trying to find a little bit of grip down there. Got the power down fairly early, but not quite able to hang it through turn number 3 and 4. Looks like the racetrack is just a little bit more slippery back there as we got some beating and banging back there. Number 17 of Austin Kroger, who's been one of those drivers devout to that inside line, trying to find that speed down there. He got into it with last week's race winner, Jordan LaFawn, in the number 11, and unfortunately for the number 17, he's going to drop well back through the field. But here comes Cameron Dawson to the race lead, gets around Chris Everly for the first time here tonight. We have a new race leader, and it is the 187 of Cameron Dawson. Had a fantastic heat earlier in the night and has worked his way back up to the front here with 23 laps to go, but caution flag waves here. Let's figure out what brought out this caution flag here. Keeping our eyes on the number 5 machine of Nicholas Lamb. Let's see what happened to the bright orange and blue number 5 machine running the top side of the racetrack with Jordan LaFawn. And oh, man, I don't know if there was contact there, but the 5 goes up and over. And oh, man, the 73, nowhere to go in that one. Let's see if there was any contact with last week's race winner or not, because it definitely got pretty close. And if not, even if there's no contact, we're going to get a little bit of a workout for the gyro cam that sits on board with this machine right here. Was there? I don't think there was any contact. I think Lamb was trying to give LaFawn as much room as possible, and unfortunately, man, getting tossed around. Good news is he landed back on his 4 wheels, so he won't have to take a tow back to pit road. We've seen that be pretty costly for a lot of drivers. But luckily, he's going to be able to get back going. Now, Chris Everly in the number 3 machine. Going to be on the inside, the 187, Cameron Dawson. He's going to choose the high line for this restart. Everly gets a fantastic restart. We're back green here at Cedar Lake, and Everly is going to come up in front of the 187, but the 187 of Dawson gets a great run out of turn number 2, and he's going to get himself back up to the lead. Can't count out Tim Ripley down there. Remember, 3rd place was the position you wanted to be in last week coming to the stripe at Knoxville, as your 2 leaders got together in that one. And if memory serves me correct, I think Ripley was one of those leaders who got involved in that particular accident. Your front 4 starting to sort out. Meanwhile, back here, the number 25 machine, Caleb O'Gwyn, side by side with Brent Carey, who continues his march to the front here, trying to go for 5th position. And he's really hooking that inside line quite well, but had a little bit of a bobble there coming out of turn number 4. And for right now, Carey just unable to get around that number 25. That high line here really appears to be quite strong. That cushion, you can see quite a few drivers running right up against that cushion, especially right up at the front of the field. Single file right now for your top 3. But Brent Carey still trying to work on the number 25 of O'Gwyn. And here comes Corey Kessler saying, hey guys, I want to have some fun. I want to play, as he just going up through the middle, trying to find a little bit of groove. And one thing I'm noticing is if you look at the racetrack right now, you look at the dark lines out there, there's a line about 2/3 of the way at the racetrack that appears to be less touch. It seems to be less dark as caution flag comes out. I'm just wondering if that might be what Corey Kessler is seeing out there on the racetrack. Let's see if we can sort out what brought out this caution flag. Might have been Jordan LaFawn might have been involved in this one, as keep our eyes on Jordan LaFawn and Jeremy Parker back behind him. The 11 goes up the racetrack, and contact there with the 40. And oh man, the 40 gets into the tire barrier down there. That tire that's at the end of the pit wall. Well, let's see if we can go back and get a look on board here with driver of the number 40 machine, see what he saw of this. Kind of just dove it in. Here we go, on board with the number 40, dives it in. There's the contact with the number 11 machine, and there's the tire. Oh, man, if he'd got the power down a little bit sooner, he might have been able to pop a wheelie like you see in the sprint cars. But unfortunately, that will bring out the caution flag here under the yellow flag. Let's jump back live for you. There we go. Thanks for everyone joining us here on 3Y TV. Still don't have anyone in the chat. If you're in the chat right now, let us know. We're really curious to know what you're thinking here of the Illicit Designs Dirt Circuit here on 3Y TV. There's definitely some good racing out there as Austin Kroger is in the number 17 machine. Looks like he's going to get back on the lead lap, but up at the front of the field, it is Cameron Dawson and Tim Ripley as we got accidents happening in the back of the field and a couple of cars getting removed, it appears, for incident count. As, Chris Everly getting involved with the 524 machine. Brent Carey continuing to climb, and looks like he just got around the number 3 machine, but here comes Everly. As Everly in the number 3 machine running up there on the high line, but Brent Carey got those tires, wondering if I was going to see it here tonight. Sure enough, he did. Shot him well out of the groove, but we're still 3 wide. How about this racing mid-pack? You're not missing all too much. I take that back. You are missing something up at the front of the field. It is the 187 of Cameron Dawson and Tim Ripley battling for the race lead, and Ripley is just going to rip it around the top with 13 laps to go. New race leader here at Cedar Lake Speedway for the first time here tonight. The 71 will go across the start-finish line as the race leader, and you can see he's really finding the margins of the racetrack and really making that work. Meanwhile, back behind them, they are still in an absolute scrum of positions. Brent Carey has fallen back just a little bit, battling with Josh Anders, who tries to climb his way. Oh man, we got one car against the wall back there. It is Nicholas Lamb in the number 5 machine who has ended up on the side of the racetrack, and he has had to take a tow back to pit road. What happened here? With the driver of the number 5 machine was involved in an accident a little while ago, went upside down. Just wondering if he might have jumped the cushion just a little bit on the top side of the racetrack. Let's go on board here. And yep, jumped the cushion, hit the wall, and that wall not doing him any favors there as he just gets stuck up into the outside fence, bringing out the caution flag here tonight. And sure enough, he was stuck. And that is going to be quite tough for him here, as he will go a couple of laps down with that tow. Well, folks, back under caution flag, we're going to have about a 10-lap shootout when we go back green flag here. It is Tim Ripley, Cameron Dawson, Caleb Oakwin. That number 25 machine, really impressed with him. He qualified, or not necessarily qualified, but started the race through the heats in the 9th position. As you see, Jeremy Parker in the number 40. He'll be getting one of his laps back. There he goes on by. Good news for him. But meanwhile, your race leaders are getting ready to go back to green flag. They double them up here on 3-Wide TV for this 10-lap shootout that is upcoming right here. And Tim Ripley on the loud pedal a little bit early in the number 71 machine. He's going to slide up in front of Cameron Dawson, going to run that high line through turn number 1 and 2. Meanwhile, back behind them, keep our eyes on Caleb Oakwin, up now 6 positions from where he started in 9th, and trying to look for more, battling with the 187 of Cameron Dawson, who led the middle portion of the race. But back behind him is the driver who started this race out front. That is the number 3 machine of Chris Eberly. The 187th jumped the cushion and contact Cameron Dawson, taking out the camera. And just like what we saw a few laps ago with Nicholas Lamb, end up stuck on the wall in turn number 4. What happened here with the 187 machine? Dawson trying to do everything he can to get it off the wall. He finally was able to do so. But what happened here with the 187 machine? I think he just jumped the cushion a little bit, got up into the wall. We've seen the drivers really testing the boundaries here tonight. And yep, just clipped the wall with his right rear. You see Chris Everly getting a piece of that accident as well. And that 187 gets up kind of only one wheel on the ground there. But he was able to throw it in reverse. And watch this, folks. This is what you typically see out of the stadium super trucks. Is he kind of gets it on 2 wheels, gets it down onto all 4s once again, but quickly finds out that that suspension appears pretty toast. And I'm not sure what physics are going on there, folks, but that doesn't look like a whole lot of physics to me. But unfortunately for Cameron Dawson, his night will appear to pretty much end there, as it will be a tough battle for him to get back on the lead lap before this thing is all said and done. But the pace truck lights have turned off, so we're going to get set to go back. Green flag racing. Looks like we are going to have a single file restart here with 7 laps to go. Question for the chat: who do you think is going to walk away with the win here tonight? We had to wait to the final corner of the final lap last week. We might have to do so again this week. Tim Ripley on the loud pedal. He's off to a great start. And Tim Ripley, I've been extremely impressed with how he's been able to find the limit of this racetrack on that high line. We've seen a couple of other drivers really struggle with that over the last 5 laps or so, with Cameron Dawson having issues, Nicholas Lamb having issues as well. But that number 71 out front has been able to do it well. But we have bad news, folks. Caution flag back in the air, hearing that the number 24J of John Quill might be involved with this one. Let's keep our eye on that 24J right there. Goes down to the bottom side of the racetrack, and oh, the number 18 machine right there comes in a little bit hot, and John Quill, looks like it is night done for him. That was Josh Anders who had that moment. Let's see if we can get another look here with Josh Anders. Well, I was hoping to get another look with Josh Anders, but it does not appear like we are going to be able to get that for some reason. It oh, here we go. This should work. This should work. Just goes into the corner, goes in a little bit hot, collects the 24J, and I think unfortunately for John Quill, I think he reached his limit on incident points. We were concerned that that might be an issue here tonight. It was an issue last week at Knoxville, where we had a couple of drivers disqualified for the incident points that they accrued throughout the night. But that number 71 of Tim Ripley will lead us back to green. We'll have a 6-lap shootout. Hopefully we can make through all 6 laps without seeing another caution flag, but only time will tell. Caleb O'Gwin, man, he's tucked up right underneath the number 71 machine. Everly was tucked up right underneath him. But that number 524, excuse me, Brent Carey down there on the inside line. We got some hard racing back here in the pack. And contact between the 78 and the 18. That's Josh Anders in the number 18 making contact there to his outside. That is Dustin Fryer in that number 78 machine right there. Looks like he's able to hold on to that car. We still remain green. The 71 up at the front. Tim Ripley has a big lead. Caleb O'Gwin in second. Chris Everly there in third. Brent Carey, though, trying to take away that position down there on the inside line. But that number 3 comes roaring back. We're still green flag. Trying to see just 2 laps to go in the flagman's hand this time. Back behind them, Cameron Dawson in the 187. He was able to use that fast repair and able to get back on the lead lap. He is currently in the 6th position. How impressive is that? I did not expect to see that happen. The 71, though, Tim Ripley coming to see the white flag. He has an insurmountable lead right now. He is going to have to mess up, but look at this battle back behind him. Last week's race winner, Jordan LaFawn, trying to run up through the middle, trying to take away 3rd position from this battle. Tim Ripley comes out of turn number 4, takes the win, but look at this battle for 3rd, and it'll be the number 11 of Jordan LaFawn. Got the win last week with a last corner pass. And this week, he will go to the podium here on 3 Wide TV. We hope to get a word with these drivers here in just a little bit, but the number 71 able to take it to victory lane right here on the front stretch. Congratulations to that number 71. Really impressive drive out of him there in the closing laps. There is the 25, Caleb O'Gwin. He's making his way down there. Now, of course, all these drivers would in real life have to go to tech inspection right after these races. You see them all work their way to tech inspection, but for right now it is the number 71 driving it and parking it in victory lane here tonight. We'll hopefully get some words with some of these drivers here in just a brief moment. Let's see if we can bring up the final race results for you guys, however, because I'm sure you're going to want to see them kind of in a nice format. We'll bring them up for you. There we go. The Illicit Designs Dirt Circuit, Cedar Lake Speedway, the 358 Modifieds here on 3Y TV. Tim Ripley going to take home the win by almost 2 seconds over Caleb O'Gwin in the number 25 machine. Jordan LaFawn coming home in third. Chris Eberly in the number 3 machine, who led a good number of laps here in the feature. He comes home in fourth. Brent Carey in the 524 in fifth, but was battling for that third position right there on the final lap. Cameron Dawson, the 187 in sixth. Justin Jones in the 73 comes home in seventh. Matthew Moniak in eighth. Corey Kessler in ninth. Austin Kroger, who appeared to have a lot of pace in that number 17 machine, just didn't have the track position after a tough finish in his heat race. It comes to a 10th place spot here in the feature. Josh Anders in 11th. Dustin Fryer 12th. Jeremy Parker 13th. John Quill, and some of these drivers back here having disqualifications due to incident limits. Nicholas Lamb finishing 15th, James Batzer 16th, Anthony Karff in 17th, Eric Bisline 18th, and then just to take you through the back few finishers, Daniel Northcutt and Bill Sleep. Unfortunately for Bill, definitely had a lot of pace here tonight, but definitely wasn't meant to be for him here tonight. Let's see if we can finish up with some of these post-race interviews. Let's see if we can first off talk to our second place finisher. It seems like our second place finisher is here in the chat. Let's see if we can just grab him here into the booth. Caleb O'Gwin, Peter Short, 3Y TV booth. You got a copy?
So.
Well, I'll tell you what, Caleb, it was definitely a pretty slick racetrack out there. By the end of the racetrack, everyone was running up there on the top of the track, and we saw a couple of really fast cars make some mistakes there late in the race, but you were able to keep it steady. Didn't quite have the pace there for Tim Ripley at the end, but all things considered, a really good night for you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good night. I just tried to run my race and be patient. There's a lot of decent racing up there, just trying to watch out for all the stupid stuff, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw some fantastic racing in the middle of the pack, 2 and 3 wide, and it definitely looked like a really racy track out there here tonight, but also looked very bumpy. Did that affect your race at all tonight?
Yeah, I like to be more toward the bottom or the middle, and with those bumps, it forced me up top, which ended up being a quicker line, so it worked out. I mean, I restarted up there a few times, and that's where I gained a lot of my spots.
Yeah, you definitely did a great job picking up spots because you started this feature back in ninth and able to work your way up into second. You mentioned the patience here tonight, but definitely was a lot of fun here tonight. What are your thoughts about Cedar Lake? It definitely seems like one of the racier dirt tracks that you guys go to.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of racing surface, you know, and you can get 3 or 4 wide and not connect, so makes it a lot of fun.
A lot of fun it is. Before we let you go, firstly, next week you go to Eldora, another racetrack that is extremely raceway. What are your thoughts about Eldora? And then any shout-outs you'd like to give us here on 3Y TV?
Well, I only get to run this series every now and again. I was lucky I got to run it tonight. I'm hoping I get to make it back more often. But, yeah, I can't wait if I get to go racing Eldora. And as far as shout-outs, the only one I got is my boys over at CJB. They're the ones that got me where I'm at.
All right. Well, congratulations, Caleb, on finishing tonight in the second position. And we hope to see you again here on 3Y TV before the season's out. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for tonight's second place finisher. Let's see if we can bring in tonight's race winner driver of the number 71 machine, Tim Ripley. Tim, this is Peter Short, 3Y TV booth. You got a copy?
And 4.
Well, I'll tell you what, we saw some of these drivers out there have some struggle on that top groove, especially there in the late in the race. It caught Cameron Dawson out. It caught some of the other drivers like Nicholas Lamb out, but you really found that cushion here late in the race and were able to drive away there with that last 6 lap shootout. Tell us about the racetrack here tonight and how you were able to walk away with a win.
Yeah, that wall was pretty treacherous. It's all about getting the car slowed down enough getting in to get a good drive out, and I think that's where people struggle. Just all about being smooth, staying up there. That's really all it was there, too. I went to the bottom a couple of times, went right backwards. So I figured if there's a cushion, I'm going to pound it.
Yeah, you definitely found that cushion, did not jump over it here tonight. And although it seemed like the racetrack kind of ended up somewhat one groove up there at the top side, especially up at the front of the field, you did make some moves there in the race here tonight. And you got around Cameron Dawson for the race lead. Tell us about that move.
Just building up the momentum to get that good slider and trusting the guy is going to turn down from you and lift a little bit, and Cameron did that for me. So that was about the only way you could pass.
Yeah, definitely a great move to take the win here tonight, and kind of a bounce back after Knoxville last week here on 3 Wide TV. Definitely a fun race, but next week we go to Eldora, another extremely racy track. What are your thoughts about Eldora?
Eldora is probably not my favorite track. Tonight, this makes 4 Illicit wins in a row in the last 4 league races, so I'm on a hot streak. Maybe we'll carry it in over there.
Absolutely, definitely going to be a fun one right here on 3 Wide TV next week. Before we let you go, Tim, any shout-outs?
5-6 Graphics, guys at Sub-Zero, Team O'Reilly. We're really growing as a team and starting to get a lot better. Today was actually 29th win in the league, so just keep rolling with that.
Absolutely. Well, 29 wins to his name. The number 71 machine of Tim Ripley parks it.
That's for the team.
Oh, well, for the team. Well, yeah, okay. You're not giving yourself that much credit.
No, absolutely not.
Well, 29 wins
effort
for the team. Tim, congratulations. Parking it in victory lane. We'll see if we'll get to talk to you again next week at Eldora.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for the broadcast.
Absolutely. Let's let him go and celebrate his win here tonight. Let's see if we can get a quick word with our 5th place finisher, the number 3 machine of Chris Eberly. Chris, hopefully I'm saying your last name correct in Chris Eberly. If I'm not, correct me. But a strong run out of that number 3 machine here tonight. Definitely was at one point looking really good for you, but you lost a couple spots there towards the end. Tell us about it.
Couple restarts and lost spots, but you are saying my last name right.
Well, that is good to know. But Chris, definitely a lot of fun out there. Some good hard racing. Tell us about the hard racing once you did fall back a little bit.
Say about it, man. Just made mistakes. It's unfortunate. It's racing.
Yeah, sometimes you have those good nights where you don't make any mistakes, and sometimes they happen. And when they happen, especially on dirt, those mistakes can kind of come back to haunt you just a little bit, and can be really hard to make a pass. Tell us how hard it was to make a pass out there once the track had really started to grease up.
Cedar's pass, and it's usually a one groove track where it slicks off like that. And did the best I could.
Well, you definitely did. Next week we go to Eldora. What are your thoughts of going to Eldora?
See you in Eldora.
Well, there you go. Chris, before we let you go, any shout-outs you'd like to give? Well, it looks like he has jumped on out here, folks. We really do appreciate each and every one of you here in the Illicit Designs Dirt Circuit for joining us here on 3 Wide TV. Make sure you hit a like button and subscribe on your way out. We really do appreciate all of the action here tonight and everyone jumping in on this stream and hopefully getting a little bit dirty out here at Cedar Lake Speedway up in Wisconsin. But for myself, Peter Short, and everyone at 3YTV, want to give a big shout out to our friends over at SimTV for all the camera angles that we bring you each and every week here on the channel, as well as everyone here in the Illicit Designs Dirt Circuit. And we hope to see you next week, next Monday. That will be May 31st from Eldora, here once again with the 358 Modifieds. Everyone, stay safe, and we shall see ya.